Built without permission. That is the Igbo Survival Code. I would like you to watch this video and we'll be right back.
I don't want a person in power that will unempower me. We are not looking to eat from Nigeria. River State is dying. Port Harcourt is gradually becoming the poorest big city in Nigeria. Anytime Igbo people get to federal government, Igbo land will start dying. Lagos has overtaken Port Harcourt in wealth. Abuja has overtaken Port Harcourt in wealth. Even Kano is boasting more than Port Harcourt. Warri, that was our baby, is bigger than us in wealth. What happened? Port Harcourt stops taking steps and abuse the fighting around the soup pot of government. Businessmen are not longer springing out of this city. Transamadi used to be where companies are, now a graveyard. Nothing is working. Move around Port Harcourt before everywhere there's an oil service company. They're all closed down. All the small fabrication yards are gone. The boat building industry is dead. What happened to Port Harcourt? Everybody's looking into the soup pot. Nigeria is not favoring the East. It's not favoring Igbo people. It's not favoring this listing. Anytime Igbo people get to federal government, Igbo land will start dying unless they are careful to avoid the mistake of others. The reason is that when government is not helping them, they start helping themselves. Some villages in Igbo land are bigger than some cities in the north. What these boys are building in their communities, put roads, put water, put light, give scholarship for their people, are building industries. The people that collected government and sat over it don't have it in their place. There is a laziness of mind that comes with eating free things. If you are not careful, that will be your judgment. We want a person in power. I don't want a person in power that will unempower me. We are not looking to eat from Nigeria. We are looking to stand on our feet. Don't take care of me, empower me, I can take care of myself. That's why people are dying. That's why things are hard. River State is dying. Nobody's making moves.
Igbo Area TV, on the Igbo.
Having seen that video, let's talk about something powerful. How did the Igbo people survive and even succeed despite feeling politically sidelined at the federal level? That's the real question. Because whether you agree or disagree politically, one fact is clear. After 1966, after the Civil War, after losing properties, after starting again with almost nothing, Igbo people did not disappear. They rebuilt. But the question here is how? After the war ended in 1970, many Igbo families came back home to empty houses, seized properties, broken savings. Some had only 20 pounds in their accounts, regardless of what they had before. That could have finished people. But something happened. Instead of waiting for government rescue, many turned to trade, small trade, spare parts, electronics, textiles, motor parts, building materials. From Onitsha to Aba, from Nnewi to Alaba, from Lagos to Kano, they spread. If the system did not create space, they created space for themselves anywhere, and that is survival. One secret weapon, the Igbo apprenticeship system, Igba Boi. A young boy follows a master for 5, 6, 7 years, learns the trade, understands supply chains, builds relationships. Then one day, the master settles him with capital. Now that boy becomes a master. He trains others. It multiplies. No federal grant, no government empowerment program, no political connection, just trust, discipline, and community structure. That is economic engineering at grassroots level.
The average Igbo businessman understands the concept of delayed gratification. First and foremost, the system that got them into business was one of delayed gratification. Having gone through a business incubation system where they were Nwa boys and had to patiently wait till they owned their own. Patience as a virtue was what honed in them bit by bit. And so when they eventually owned their own, they maintained the same attitude. So I respect them for that. I remember a man who had a small shop around Mandelas. I used to buy shirts and suits from him for about 6,000 naira back then in 2014 when I was doing my IT at Nigerian Insurance. Now, a couple of years down the line, this man moved from that small shop to a massive plaza. He was incubating his business, not building a new house. And before we knew it, the business literally suddenly exploded. He did not buy a car for himself back then when he could have. Instead, he waited patiently. Today, he can afford to buy a car for himself every month if he wishes, because he's a bona fide billionaire. There's a lot to learn from my Igbo businessman, and delayed gratification is number one.
Go to many Igbo villages, you will see community-built roads, town unions raising money for transformers, Diaspora funding schools, scholarship schemes, sponsored by businessmen. When people feel government may not prioritize them, they stop waiting. They start building. Now listen carefully. This is important. Self-reliance was not born from comfort. It was born from necessity. When you don't expect help, you develop muscle. And here is the sensitive part. Many Igbo people feel they have not occupied the presidency in modern democratic Nigeria. That feeling matters because representation gives psychological belonging. But here is the paradox. While political power seemed distant, economic networks expanded, markets grew, trading networks spread across Nigeria. Igbo entrepreneurs dominated certain sectors. Small and medium enterprises exploded. Sometimes when people are not inside the soup pot of government, they build outside it. They don't rely on allocation. They rely on circulation. Money must move. Goods must move. Efforts must move. That builds resilience. Lagos handles most cargo. Other ports operate below potential. Many see that as imbalance. Many feel federal attention concentrates elsewhere. But here's the key. Even without full federal advantage, Eastern traders still move goods. They still import. They still distribute nationwide. That shows adaptability. But let's be clear, surviving despite imbalance is different from celebrating imbalance. Nobody should be deprived in order to prove strength. Self-reliance is powerful. Fair treatment is still necessary. Both can be true. Now here is the warning. History shows something. When communities become too comfortable with political access, sometimes the hunger reduces. Energy shifts from enterprise to appointments, from building factories to chasing contracts. That is dangerous for any group. The Igbo Survival Code worked because it focused on production, not patronage. If that ever changes, the strength weakens. Let's calm down here. This is not about attacking Nigeria. This is not about attacking other regions. Every region has its struggles. The real lesson here is bigger than tribe. Now, when government does not empower you, you either collapse or you create your own ladder. Igbo communities chose the ladder. That's the story. Now, imagine something. If a people can build markets, industries, and networks with limited federal backing, what could have happened if there was equal structural support? Better infrastructure, functional ports everywhere, stable electricity, access to the capital, to the central, to the federal, self-reliance plus fair systems. That is explosive growth, not dependency, not handouts, empowerment. So, when people say Igbo people succeeded because they were excluded, the full truth about that is deeper. They succeeded because they refused to die. They refused to beg. They built systems inside the cracks. But let nobody twist it. Resilience does not mean injustice is good. It does not mean what is being done to Igbo is good. No. Strength does not mean fairness is unnecessary. The real message is this. Don't feed us. Empower us. Don't sideline us. Include us, we Igbos. But whether included or not, we know how to build. That is the Igbo Survival Code. And that is bigger than politics. Tell me, should survival be enough? Or is it time for structural fairness to match the strength? Let's talk. Add your comment on the comment section.